Hello. Welcome back to
Inconsistently
Inconsistently Consistent. Our brain baby that I want to divorce from Melanie from. My name's Rachel.
My name's Melanie. And we like to start this episode by saying, "Get off the curtain, you shitbag." That's how Rachel addresses her cat
I call her a shitbag.
when she climbs the curtains.
I
just think it's hilarious. Rachel says, "I want a divorce." Me, and then get off the curtain, you shitbag, and I still can't stop laughing from it.
Every time I think I try to call her a douchebag and a shit disturber, and for some reason my brain put those two words together, so she's a shitbag now.
Who knew? Shitbags can climb curtains.
Hi, shitbag.
Hexa, shitbag, the first of her name.
The first of her name, climber of curtains, chaser of birds, and boxer of cats through windows.
Forever does she reign.
How long does she reign? So guess what? Guess what?
I'm trying to say what, but I was taking a sip of my drink. I'm sorry, you caught me at a bad time.
I'm sorry.
Call back later.
Yeah. I'm getting new feet.
You're getting new feet?
Yep.
Feet with an F.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I don't know how to react to this. No one's ever told me they're getting new feet.
So I'm getting new orthotics.
Okay.
But
it's different.
I've been calling them feet because this is the reaction I get out of people where they're like, "You're getting new feet?"
Okay, yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm getting new feet." And they just look at me and they're like, I can see them trying to process how to answer that.
If I was in person with you, I'd be staring at your feet. And I'd probably ask you to take off your shoes so I could see what happened to your old ones. But then also I don't like feet, so I don't want to see them. So I'd be like warring with that kind of instinct to be like, I want to know what happened, and I'm always curious and like I need to know, but also like I don't want to see your feet. So I'm like, oh God, right?
Yeah. No, I'm getting new orthotics was the ones I have. They're 3 years old now, and they're definitely worn down, so I'm picking up my new pair tomorrow, and yeah, that's my new feet.
Yeah. And with your new feet, what are you going to do? Like start a career as a tap dancer?
With my new feet, I think I might consider starting my OnlyFeets.
OnlyFeet.
My OnlyFeets, and just post pictures of the orthotics and be like, new. Yes.
So will your old feet, like, are they old enough to climb the curtain, like shitbags?
Yeah, they are. So, I don't know, I might see them climbing the curtain one day with the shitbag. It'll be shitbag 1 and shitbag 2.
And the original shitbag is just on the floor, like, directing them.
Yes, exactly.
This is how you properly do this.
This is how you scale a curtain and have mom yell at you and call you a shitbag. But how have you been? I feel like it's been forever since we spoke.
I don't know. How long has it been?
Besides,
it's been a while since we've forgotten to, record and put an episode out on the anniversary, the 1 year anniversary of the podcast. Whoops.
Oopsie. But
let's chalk that up to an oopsie doopsie and move on.
We're just on brand because we're inconsistently consistent with our posting, so
What I love though is that we've never missed an upload date. Ever. right? We've always been consistent. And the one time we do
It's the
is
anniversary.
the anniversary.
Yep.
Like the one day when it counts,
Question
we're
mark?
like, you know what?
Nah.
Did we? Should we? Whoops.
We're both just like, nah,
Mm,
nah,
nah,
nah.
nah.
I think for me, it's just been a week because my brain's just been like 50 bajillion things I need to do at once. And that got pushed to the back because I know we talked about recording. Then we,
Yeah, and we've been working on scheduling another episode with a
yeah,
guest person.
speaker.
Yeah, I was gonna call her a speaker, but then I was like, is it a speaker?
I mean, she is going to be speaking.
A guest host?
Co-guest?
Co-guest? I think
Co-guest?
guest just a guest. With a guest.
I don't know. I didn't guess.
A guest stop. Stop at the guest, I guess, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, we've
Don't go
been
too far.
scheduling that and trying to figure that out
Mhm.
and just our regular lives because we for some reason have jobs.
Yeah, I don't know why that is.
I don't know, and one of us goes to school. I don't know why that is either. So,
Yeah. I've
my
been trying to sell a book and like write 2 more.
don't know why.
I don't know.
And our brain, the last thing on my brain was like, I need to record a podcast episode because by the time that the weekend rolled around, my last 2 brain cells were just like vibing, They were just like,
Yeah. And if yours aren't on board to do things and like
Mhm.
make the scheduling happen, what hope do we have?
And if the one person who doesn't get migraines can't function.
Yeah, and like between the migraines and the ADHD, I can't schedule for shit.
Yeah.
Like unless it's in my calendar that tells me what to do, or I have Lexie who's at work telling me what to do.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then with the ADHD, I just rebel at anything telling me what to do.
Yes.
My life is so hard, Rachel.
I know our life is hard, but you know
Okay, I
whose
didn't
life
say our. Okay, I wasn't putting you in this.
well, my life
Just
is
like give me some solo time here.
okay, sorry. Melanie's life is so hard.
This
She
is
wrote
why we need a divorce.
Yeah, this is why we're getting a
This is
divorce. Listeners,
why.
unfortunately, this is the last episode of the We have decided that after a year, we're calling it quits. You know what? We made it longer than someone being married. So let's just pat ourselves on the back
Yeah.
and say we survived. But after a year, we've decided we no longer want to do this. We're getting a divorce. Melanie's
Okay.
starting her own podcast called Migraine Life.
No, no, don't joke about this. We're gonna confuse people. What if this is the first time they've heard us, Rachel?
We're not actually divorcing each other. Not yet. We'll
No.
see.
And we have never been married, for those who don't know.
That they know of.
I mean,
Oh my
for
god,
the
babe.
right amount, we might marry. There is the right amount of money on the table.
I mean, listen, if there's some benefits to being married or common law, maybe.
No, no, not common law. That's not enough.
Okay, married then. Married then.
Yeah,
Married.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, what's
No,
this episode about, Rachel?
episode is not about us hypothetically getting married for some
For
type
the right amount of money.
for the right amount of money.
One of these days, we should play $1 million butt.
We should. We should. Um, this episode is about one of my favorite things. Petty revenge.
Oh, okay.
I love a good
I
petty
thought you meant adultery.
Touche.
I'm sorry.
Touche.
Okay.
And it's about petty revenge.
Mhm.
And I'm a big fan of petty revenge stories. I've seen a few like from Reddit. This is where we got these stories of petty revenge. And it's just one of those things where like you chef kiss it and you're like, yes,
Mhm.
beautiful.
Yeah.
So we have a few stories courtesy of our lead researcher, Lexie. She is now the lead
Mhm.
researcher because neither of us, fun fact listeners, we didn't look these stories up. Lexie did all the work.
Yeah. And it was a cool, crazy idea that was totally on purpose, for sure. And but the fun thing is that we don't know what happens in the stories. So
Mm-mm.
for the first time, neither of us are trying to like force each other to laugh, and we're actually just are going to be surprised by what's in the stories,
Mm-hmm.
and we're just live reacting to them
Yeah.
instead. For this is the first time we're actually going to read them.
You're going to get our genuine, unfiltered reactions to these stories because neither of us have read them. Neither of us have probably, you mentioned you've heard of one of them. I don't think I've heard of any of them.
Yeah, I heard one of them. I never actually read it or looked it up, but I heard it on another, on a YouTube channel. It was read out. So,
Yeah, so we are going to be live reacting. We're going to read a few, we're going to comment, and we're going to have some fun. So, who wants to go first?
mm, well, I will go first.
Woo!
This is not staged.
Not at all.
Ah, so, the first one I'm going to read
Mhm,
is called
mhm.
Lie About Having COVID to Take 6 weeks off while I do your work for free. I'll throw an office party to announce where you really were. And
Ooh.
it's on r/PettyRevenge. So this is the one that I've already heard,
Mhm,
and I heard it on a YouTube channel called Smosh
mhm.
on one of their videos. Which I also like Lexie watches it as well, which is probably where she found it to
Probably.
start with. So Rachel has not heard this.
No, I have not because I don't watch Smosh. English. I don't watch Smosh anymore.
Mhm. You're missing out because the new cast they have is fantastic.
We'll see. I have too many things I need to watch, so we'll see.
Mhm. And it's very improv based now. I like improv, so that's
Okay.
why I'm happy about it.
Okay.
Okay, so this thing. Okay, mid-pandemic, my boss disappeared. Just disappeared.
Where'd he
Uh,
go?
hold on, I'm zooming in because I'm an old lady.
Yes, we are 29-year-old ladies.
Not for much longer, Rachel.
One of us is going to be a 30-year-old lady soon.
Next month.
Next month. How was it? Oh my God, it's going to be next
Yeah. What are you gonna do for my 30th birthday, Rachel?
month. I'm not telling you.
Yeah.
It's a
Well,
surprise.
we better not miss my 30-year-old lady podcast episode.
Oh, we not. Don't worry. I'm going to plan something extra special for a 30-year-old lady podcast episode.
Okay. Mid pandemic, my boss disappeared. Just as we were gearing up for our most challenging, time intensive project in the last 5 years, he dropped off the face of the earth. We
Hmm.
kept working for a week or so without him because everything was virtual and the virtual work world was still so new. We
Mhm,
didn't really need him. We were delegating tasks ourselves and completing things on our own. We spoke to coworkers maybe twice a week.
mhm,
But some decisions were beyond our discretion, so we could not move forward on those aspects of the project until we received a response from him. After about 7 to 10 days in total of silence, we called his boss's boss, who informed our team that our boss had COVID, so wasn't able to work right now. We took that at face value, of course, sent him letters of well wishes, and didn't bother him with work stuff or ask him why he was able to notify his boss but not us.
mhm.
3 weeks go by. Still not a word. We're beginning to discuss amongst ourselves whether or not maybe he's died.
Oh my god. I mean, that's valid though. If you don't hear from somebody and they've
Mhm,
got COVID, especially where we didn't really know much about it at the start, I
mhm.
would assume they were also dead.
And it sounds like this is the start of COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People were
And
dropping
this is like,
flies at the start of COVID.
so this is in this thing, it's 7 to 10 total days of silence plus then 3 weeks.
Mhm.
Um, we're terrified and horrified and so concerned. We're
Mhm.
contemplating calling his extended family. We're sending flowers and care packages to his apartment.
Damn.
Sorry, I'm choking. Um, choking on the grief.
Sure.
Sorry.
You're so grief-stricken, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's
No,
just so
I'm just
hard. It's so hard because you're
it's just hard to read, okay?
yeah.
Meanwhile, the project has descended into chaos because no leader was appointed in our boss's stead. So we are forced to navigate several layers of bureaucracy in order to accomplish most anything at all, whereas in the past, he would have signed off in real time. Around week 4 or 5, one of our coworkers suggests he doesn't really have COVID, but
Mm.
is instead using it as an excuse to take time off. We all jump all over that coworker, asking how he would insinuate something like that, and lamenting about what a tragedy our boss is probably living through. People were chilly to him for days after that.
Mhm.
Week 7, we're undertaking a letter writing campaign to upper management, demanding an acting boss be appointed while ours is recovering. The project is a month behind schedule. We're all working overtime every day, sometimes on weekends without extra compensation, just to keep up with the clusterfuck of the boss's sudden absence.
Mhm.
Week 8, he finally reappears, logging into a morning meeting as though nothing happened. He looks well rested, well fed, and has a tan.
Mm.
Now, at all, no, not at all like someone who's just come out of the other side of a 6-week respiratory virus.
Mm.
He says something quickly to the effect of, "Yeah, that was brutal. Glad to be better and glad to be back. Let's get to work." But doesn't want to talk about what happened or answer any of our questions like, "Were you in the hospital? What was it like?" etc.
Mm.
Fast forward to about 4 or 5 months after this. My sister sends me a promo for a fairly new reality show. I've never heard of it, but it's on a major platform. And says, "Isn't this guy a friend of yours or something? I swear I've seen him and you together." I watched the trailer for this show, and lo and behold, there's my boss,
No.
participating as a contestant on a reality show.
No. Does it say what show?
In the comments, somebody might have figured it out.
Oh,
Spoiler. Uh, it did not take long for me to put the pieces together and realize he took extended leave to go on TV that he knew he wouldn't otherwise get during this massive project and lied about it under the guise of a vicious disease that nearly all of us had lost a loved one to. I sit and stew with this information, unsure of how to handle it. I know confronting him won't get me very far, but I can't just do nothing, right? I'm not close enough with any of my colleagues to discuss this with them and trust that they wouldn't run off and send an all company wide email about it. I slept on it a few nights and then the opportunity fell right in my lap. I got an email from corporate encouraging teams still working remotely to plan virtual social functions to keep a collegial corporate culture going and to stay in touch. Among the suggestions were game night, trivia, and watch party.
yes. Yes. Let's go.
That little yes, Rachel. You killed me.
Let's
Okay.
fucking go.
Whew. This is why it's such a long one, but it's worth it. It's worth it. With the premiere of the show only a couple of weeks away, I got busy telling everyone how I'd been meaning to get into this show, and it's so enticing and exciting, basically laying the groundwork to guilt them into coming to an impromptu virtual watch party off hours. I offered to get special shirts made up and send them to each person's house, whatever I had to do to get the attention of corporate. Finally, I sent an evite to all of my boss's bosses and any other member of corporate I could justify inviting without making a total ass of myself. Because this is entirely virtual, my boss is unable to overhear any of the chatter. He doesn't realize I'm hyping up this show, and he doesn't realize I've planned a watch party for it. I wasn't inviting him unless he had the balls to explicitly ask about it. I was hoping he wouldn't have heard about it at all, not until afterwards. That was really the only way this could work. The night comes, and I am screen sharing the show to a whopping 64 people, a huge chunk of my department. Many members of corporate had showed up because I was the only person stupid enough to buy into their virtual social work party scheme, so they felt pressured to support it. I was holding my breath, hoping this would go my way, bracing myself for some kind of curveball. There wasn't even that dramatic of a build-up. Right at the outset, they introduced the premise, which included the contestants being in a COVID-safe bubble in an exotic location, and gave a brief overview of each contestant. As my boss was introduced, right down to what he did for work, and I could see people register delight and surprise, and then go blank, just before sliding into confusion and rage. The chat took a drastic turn from, "Oh my goodness," and "I knew him when," and all sort of pithy jokes to a "brave member of my team," or perhaps one just pushed a tad too far by all the extra hours he pulled in this douche's absence, sent the message, "Wait, when was this filmed?" My audience dropped from 64 to 58 to mid-30s, and by the time the episode was over, it was just me and the other 15 core members of the team. One asked if I'd already known, but some members of the team are very close to the boss. So all I said was, "Well, I definitely do now," and wrapped up the call pretty quickly after that. Perhaps one of the best bonuses is that you could already tell from episode 1 that the character arc the show assigned to our boss was bumbling idiot. He had his true colors on in full display, and some production massaging upped them to the 11th degree. Boss was fired. My good buddy was promoted to his place. I am an office legend now, especially since no one is 100% sure whether or not it was intentional. And it was all so satisfying that it was almost worth the dozens of hours of uncompensated overtime that led to it. Edit, title should be 8 weeks. I kept not factoring in the first couple weeks because we weren't suspicious or burdened until the final 6. So that's it.
That is beautiful.
Right? That is chef's kiss.
That is beautiful. I did go in and read the comments, and I could see people trying to figure out what show it was.
Mm-hmm.
And my thought went to Too Hot to Handle.
Mm-hmm.
And some people were mentioning F-Boy Island as well.
Yeah, a lot of people thought it was F-Boy Island.
Yeah. That was beautiful, though.
Oh, someone said Love Island season 2.
I don't watch Love Island.
I don't either.
But how stupid do you have to be? Especially if you come back with a tan. Like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, how do you not get a tan if you're on a beach?
That's true, but like, you gotta apply makeup to make yourself look sick. Till your tan kind of fades, you know?
I mean, also, like, is it a true story?
That's true. Yeah.
Is this a true story? I hope it is
I hope
because
it's
it's
true.
hilarious and it's amazing. Like, this is a beautiful case of revenge, right? Like, it's revenge done amazingly.
Mhm.
I would aspire to this level of petty revenge.
Oh my god, if I could do petty revenge this way, I could die happy
Yeah,
as a 29-year-old lady.
I I have done some revenge in my day.
Mhm.
Rachel, I think, do you know about my revenge?
I don't know if I do know.
The last time, like, I left a job I wasn't happy about, and
Yes.
I can't talk about it though.
Yes.
Hypothetically, there was revenge, and
Mhm.
it was lovely,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
It wasn't like high scale and nobody probably figured it out, but like it made me feel better.
Mhm.
And sometimes when you can't get justice, sometimes you can get revenge,
Mhm.
right?
That's how
So,
it's funny conversation. We were talking about this last night, not the idea of revenge, but just the idea of like people get what's coming to them. Because
kind.
one of my friends, Catherine, she's like, I don't really believe in karma, and I was like, I don't believe in it as a spiritual thing.
Mhm.
I believe in it as what you put out into the universe
Mhm.
is going to come back to you. I said that to one of the other girls because she was saying one of her friends was like struggling. She's been through a lot and she feels like she keeps getting kicked and down. I was like, listen, I was like, it will taper off. I was like, so
Mhm.
you just got to tell her that it will taper off. And then what will happen that needs to happen will happen, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I was like, so sometimes you just got to weigh things out. Like, you might not get your petty revenge right away. It might not even be this grandiose, but it could just be like a very satisfying thing. Like, it's happening right now at one of my work. I didn't want revenge on this person at work, but it's just the fact
Mhm.
that, like, this particular person, they feel very entitled to certain things.
Yeah.
They feel like they should have all these promotions because they think they're like one of the best workers there.
Mhm.
And they got this promotion that they really wanted. And they're realizing it's not everything that they cracked up to be.
Mhm.
And they're struggling because they couldn't really keep on track of the regular stuff prior to this promotion. And there's more work. And like,
Yeah.
I wasn't sitting there like, oh, you're going to get yours. But like just hearing about it, and I'm like, well, you wanted this.
Mhm.
So you have it.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
Mhm.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
Yeah. Revenge, like, and you know what? I was talking to Lexie about revenge because when we were looking these up,
Mhm,
and like when she was looking these up, and we had watched, uh, like we both watched that Smosh video where this story had been told,
mhm,
and I love this story because I love a good revenge,
mhm.
right? And I also love revenge movies, right?
Yes,
I
like
love,
revenge.
like, yeah, like
Mhm.
the movie Revenge.
Yes.
And any type of revenge movie, right? Where like the victim or the person being hunted turns it around and becomes the the one doing the hunting or
Mhm,
gets revenge on those who wronged them, right? Like I love that as
mhm,
someone who's been wronged and wants revenge,
mhm.
right? When you can't get justice, at least you could get revenge, right?
Exactly.
And, like, sometimes, it's better to get revenge, like justice, not revenge, Melanie. That's the bad word. That's the bad way.
Mhm.
Get my shit together. That's what the therapist said no.
Therapists say no.
Therapists say no.
Mhm.
No, but if you can't get justice, having that like little bit of revenge, even if it's petty, even if it's just a little tiny little slight, that it's just like, well, you took a stapler from the job you got fired at. And I've never done this, okay? This is an example.
I have.
I I haven't.
I
I
have.
don't want a stapler. But just like it's just like, oh, you got fired and then you left and you took the stapler that like you had a really nice stapler on your desk, but it would belong to the company and you just took it when you left. Like just that little bit of thing like that just made you feel better after you've
Mhm,
been like working there and they never paid you your overtime or something and just like something that you couldn't get your justice but you got that or
mhm,
something. Just a little bit. Just a little bit, right? Sometimes it's just if you can't get justice and you get that little bit of a petty revenge, you know what? Fucking go for it. And
mhm.
I love a good petty revenge, especially when they're like big schemy ones like this one, right? Like he didn't go and like hurt a whole bunch of people, this guy. He only hurt the person who shouldn't have fucked everybody over in the first place,
Yes.
right? He got the guy fired for what? Uh doing what he shouldn't have done, right? He just showed the company what the guy actually did
Yeah, he
on his
just showed 'em
time
what he
that
did on
he
his
was
time off
off.
when they thought he had COVID and or maybe died from COVID.
Yeah, and he didn't even like tattle, right? He didn't
Mhm,
even tell them. He didn't report it. He was just like, "Hey, let's watch a show." But like he did it in such like a fun way. It's like
mhm,
cinematic almost. Like I could see it playing out of my head,
mhm.
right? But it's I think it's just like the writer in me. Just
Yes.
like, "Oh, I would write this. It'd be fantastic."
It would be fantastic.
But it's just, you know,
It's beautiful.
yeah. But you know what? Funny enough, Lexie, she's not a revenge person.
Yeah, I get that vibe from her.
Yeah, she's not a revengey kind of person.
Nah.
Now she's a justice person.
I realize this, especially I've been playing a lot of Dead by Daylight.
Mhm.
And I've been playing as so you can play as killer and survivor. And like obviously killer, you have to find the survivors, hook them and kill them and everything like that.
Yeah.
And there's certain things I try not to do cuz like I don't like it when it happens to me as I'm a survivor. I don't like it when when the killer like tunnels me, which is basically where they only target me for like the first part
Mm.
of the match. I don't like it when they camp by the hooks when you're trying to save people. Just like, those kind of things.
Yeah.
However, I try not to do it, but sometimes when you're playing as killer, and I did this yesterday actually, and you can like shine flashlights in their face and you can drop pallets on them to stun them.
Yeah.
I had one too many pallets dropped on me yesterday, and I literally said out loud, I was like, "Well, I'm gonna have to ruin your whole fucking life now."
Oh, Rachel,
And I did.
you're vindictive.
I ruined that survivor's life. I killed them. I was like, "Yep, I'm gonna have to ruin your whole fucking life now."
See, is there a name for when you like it's road rage, but like while you're gaming?
Um,
Is there an actual term for that? Because there should be.
there might be. I don't know what it is, but I think there probably is.
Because I feel like that's what happened.
That is what happened. I did rage quit the other day when I was playing because I
Hmm.
didn't know what
But
was.
like before you get rage quit,
Yeah,
right? And when you just get like, like rage vengeance in gaming, right? When you're
I
like,
think it's
I'm
just
gonna
you
ruin
become.
everybody's day, I'm gonna fuck all of you up, and just go on a like killing spree or whatever you're in. Because I've done it myself. Not I don't play Dead by Daylight because I would really rather play it on a PC and need to get a PC set up for gaming.
Mhm,
But uh, I will play on like I play Rocket League a lot,
mhm,
and I will be like really nice and like pass the ball and be all like team player, but you piss me off, and then I'll just like go be like, know what? I'm the soccer star and get the fuck out of my space, and I'm just gonna play by myself the whole fucking time, and no more like Melanie gets to play goalie on her turn or any of this. Like, I'm just like, fuck all of y'all, hit y'all out of the way. I don't care you're on my team.
Yep.
It's one versus everybody now.
I'll do that too, especially if I'm playing as killer and I hook somebody who's been like just being the absolute worst, because there's toxic killers and toxic survivors. And
Mm.
if I hook somebody, I will literally, and I say this out loud, and this is why probably people are trying to convince me to start streaming. I'll walk up and I'll hit them with my weapon and I'm like, don't be rude. I know they can't hear me, but it's satisfying to me. I walk up, I'm like, don't be rude. That was rude.
I see. I would love to stream and just stream the two of us playing. And you know what? If you could talk to the killer as one of the survivors, I would try to like barter with them and be like, how about I like lead you to my friends and then like you let me live.
I
Okay,
try
like
to
come on.
I try to barter with them anyways. Like if I'm playing with my friends on Discord or like some of the
Mhm.
people I've met through my friends who stream their Discord, they'll hear me try and talk, be like, wait, sir, please, can we talk about this? Come on, let's talk about this. Come on, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Especially
You're
if you're
like,
trying to
but
get
like
me
we could be friends. Like, have you ever heard of like Igor? I could be your Igor. Come
yes.
on. Like I could lead you to them.
Yeah.
What if like I helped you? How about I kill them? I got a med pack. What if I hit them with it? I could help. I'd be super helpful, I swear.
hmm But that's what I'll do. I'll be like, wait, sir, no, come on. Can we talk about this? Ma'am, can we talk about this, please? uh, I
Why
talk to
can't
myself.
we be friends?
I have this will be the last thing I bring up about this, but one of the people, the friends that I met, and whenever time they stream, they try to make friends with every killer.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll walk up and like, they crouch, they're like, friend, are you friendly? Are you friendly? And some of them are friendly, and then some of them pretend to be friendly, and then they're like, nope. And then some are just off the bat will just walk up and hit you, and you're like, nope, not friendly. Okay, bail.
I just like imagine them like doing that with like a stray animal, right? Like friend,
Yep.
like friend, cookie,
Mhm.
right? I bring treat.
I have a treat.
Oh, geez.
Okay.
Okay, we need to get to story number 2.
Yeah.
Which
Okay.
story do you want to read?
So I'm going to read, the title of this one is Ruin My Wedding to Propose. I'll ruin your proposal.
Okay, it sounds like
Me.
something you do.
Sounds like me being like, well, now I have to ruin your whole fucking life.
Yeah, it sounds like exactly what you just explained.
Yep. Okay. So, throwaway account is what it says at the top.
Mm,
I think that normally means they just do it because like family members probably have read it, so they don't want, you know.
mm-hmm.
Mhm. Okay, so I, 35 am, have a young brother, Todd, 29 m, who had a complicated birth and had to stay a month in the ICU. And because of that, my parents have always doted on him and almost denied him nothing, even if was to the detriment of my sister Abby, 32F, and I. My
Okay,
brother,
so
oh, go ahead.
you're not going to tell us what the M's and the F's means? What if people aren't Reddit
M
literate?
means male and F means female.
Okay,
Okay.
for the people in the back.
Okay. You got that for the people in the back? Okay. Good. Okay. My brother drinks in on the attention and has on more than one occasion made himself the center of attention at either my sister's, or cousin's special event. Because of this, Abby and I have a strained relationship with Todd and our parents. Unfortunately, Todd met and fell in love with Lucy, 24 female, who announced her own pregnancy at the baby shower my mom held for Abby. Just
Okay.
let that sink
Okay, I can keep track of who's who.
in. Yes.
So, okay. Okay,
So,
so the poster is a 35-year-old man. He's a
yes.
younger brother named Todd, who's
hmm
29.
hmm
And,
I have a sister named Abby who's 32.
yeah.
Todd met Lucy,
Okay,
who
so Todd and Lucy are together
and Lucy announced her pregnancy at
at
Abby's
Abby's
baby shower.
baby shower.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a bitchy move.
that is a bitchy move. Okay. So this is now the poster. So when I
Mhm.
proposed to my wife, Michelle, 30 female. So the poster, who's 35, met Michelle.
Yeah, there's so many names.
I know
Why
there's
do
lots.
people have names? Like,
I don't know.
so rude of them. I mean, I could try to keep track of all these people.
Can't you just be blob 1, blob 2, blob 3, you know?
Don't they know I have trouble keeping track of people's names?
Yes.
It's rude of them.
So rude.
They should accommodate me.
They should just for you.
Mhm.
Okay. When I proposed to my wife, Michelle, I just wanted to elope, but she really wanted her family to be there. So I invited my family out of obligation. While
Sounds like
out,
he doesn't even like his family at
some
all.
no, he doesn't. While out, my best man noticed a receipt from a jewelry store slipped out of Todd's pocket. The best man confronted Todd about this, which led to an argument. The best man told me everything, and I told Todd that he was no longer going to be a groomsman because I knew he was going to propose at my wedding. Todd cried to our parents, which led to a blowout.
Ugh, hold on. Why can't I follow this fucking story?
I don't know. Are you okay?
No, I also have it open in front of me to try to help me.
Oh my God. Okay, so
I feel like I'm in school.
Todd was planning to propose at the original poster, also known as OP's wedding,
To Lucy,
to Lucy
who also announced her baby,
at,
like her pregnancy,
yes,
at Abby's baby shower. What
yes,
the fuck is wrong with Todd and Lucy?
a lot apparently.
But what's with it in Jim's pocket? Jim, the best man. I'm
Jim is the
looking at
best
it.
man,
Okay,
yeah.
you couldn't hide Jim's name from me. Okay, you did your best.
So Jim noticed a receipt from a jewelry store slipped out of
Oh, out of
Todd's
Todd's
pocket.
pocket. I thought it was
Yes,
out of Jim's pocket.
yeah, out of Todd's pocket, and he confronted him. So the original poster told Todd that he can't be a groomsman at the wedding,
And Todd cried.
and Todd cried like a baby to his parents because he's 29 and apparently goes to mommy for everything. That sounds familiar. God, I wonder who did that, Melanie.
Excuse me?
I said,
What are you doing?
I wonder who did that in my life.
What?
Dude cried with mommy about everything.
Oh, okay. I was like, what are you doing?
You thought,
Who are you talking about?
you
I
thought I
don't
was
know. There's
calling
so
you
many
out?
names. I'm so confused. I'm so confused.
Okay, sorry. Anyways,
I usually it just shuts off the math function. Okay, the migraine does. Now apparently I can't understand anything.
apparently you can't understand English.
Lexie said this was hilarious, but this is just really complicated.
Okay, so in my parents' eyes, since Todd never admitted that he was going to propose to Lucy at my wedding, I was unfairly judging him. I
Oh,
refused.
so he didn't admit it?
He didn't admit it, no. But they kind of got the gist that he has a ring, like the timing seems kind of sus.
Well, how did he know? Where's your proof?
Listen, he's just making assumptions.
He's making an ass.
So I refused and brought up Todd's past behavior. So I guess they mentioned he has a habit of doing this at events that are not about him. So it could be like, at my graduation, he told everybody that he had lost his virginity and everybody made a big deal about it. Like, I don't know.
I just had sex and you can tell by the receipt in my pocket.
Yeah. My parents couldn't refute this and got Todd to agree not to try anything at my wedding. This wasn't enough to convince me to let him be a groomsman, but I warned him that if, as a guest, he tried anything, I would make him regret it. Fast forward to the wedding, and surprise, surprise, Todd walked over to Lucy and proposed to her during Michelle's father-daughter dance, and did it
No.
in a way so that everyone would notice.
During the father-daughter dance.
During the father-daughter dance.
The fuck? But also, oh, it's so romantic. That woman who, like, your sister-in-law is getting married, is dancing with her father. I would like to propose to you, my fiance. Woohoo! Will you marry me?
Yeah, will
Like,
you marry me? During this
that
very
makes me hot for you.
oh my god.
What the fuck? I don't.
Okay.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't, but this is people. People don't make
Uh,
sense. Cue my revenge. Jim and I had hired a woman to pretend to be Todd's side piece, who cornered Todd and Lucy and claimed that she was pregnant with his baby. Todd denied this, but when she called his phone, I gave her his number and messed with Todd's phone to incriminate him. It didn't
oh.
look good. Lucy threw the ring back at Todd and left in tears.
Mm.
When Todd saw the smile on my face, he knew that it was me, and I didn't respond to a single call or text from him or my parents until after the honeymoon. Lucy has thrown Todd's stuff out and has been denying access to their kid. Todd is furious and is demanding that I clear his name. I sent him a text saying that I had no idea what he was talking about, as well as a screenshot of the bill for the wedding, and gave a vague message demanding reimbursement for half of the wedding cost. Michelle knew the whole time what I was planning and gave me the green light after Todd ruined her moment with her dad. So I felt pretty good, but now even Abby thinks I went too far. I didn't think you got far enough. I think you should have had 50 women parade in and pretend to be baby mamas. Are you okay over there?
I understand now. I understand. I know what's going on. I don't know how to react to the story though,
Okay.
because it's crazy and it's hilarious, but also I don't have an don't know what my opinion is, like where I land on whether he went too far and he should fix it, or like he did the wrong thing.
I think this is the embodiment of if you fuck around, you're going to find out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, I'm for it because I have very strong, even though I'm very single, but I don't think you should use another person's wedding, engagement shower, bridal shower, baby shower, any of these things to make it about you. It is about the
Mhm.
person or people on that day. And if you can't be bothered to let people have one day to themselves,
Mhm.
then you have a problem and you should go to therapy.
Yeah, if you can't let them have their own moments,
Mm-hmm.
then yeah, you have your own fucking problems.
Like if you literally are so, I don't even know if narcissistic is the word. attention seeking. You're very pick me. You have that pick me attitude that you
Mhm.
can't let people have one day out of the 365 days, maybe 366 if it's a leap year,
Mhm.
have it about them and have people focus on them, then you have some serious problems.
Yeah, I think it's also not just about the, like, pick me. It's also about the stealing of the limelight from that other person. It's the taking
Mhm.
from the other person because, like, think about it. Him taking that from, like, in the middle of that father-daughter dance,
Mhm.
that, like, at their wedding reception, right? Like,
Mhm.
that's not just, like, "Oh, you can't have your moment." That's going to hurt his wife, which is going to be, like, something that she's going to keep thinking about all the time, which is something that she's gonna talk about, which he's going to want to have fixed, which comes from his family,
Mhm.
which, right? Like, those kind of people, I just find it's not just about the fact that they can't let anybody else have a moment.
Mhm.
They have to take the moment from someone else
Yeah.
because they actually, like, enjoy the taking,
Mhm.
even if they're not consciously aware that they enjoy the taking.
Well, there's some people that I would argue who are consciously aware that they enjoy the taking.
Yeah, some might be.
Mhm.
And some don't have that like, that self-awareness of it. They
Mhm.
just run on that
Yeah.
subconscious.
Mhm.
I did scroll down in the comments a little bit,
Mhm.
and I saw, "Where does one find a pretend side piece? And what does that look like on a resume? LOL." Which I love.
Probably just hired a woman, like an actress or something.
Yeah, but
Act
I thought that was a funny comment.
Mhm.
I The thing that kinda, like, stopped me from first being like, "Yeah, do it. You got this," right? Like, for the poster,
Mhm.
that, like, held me back a little bit is just that I think of Lucy a little bit,
Mhm.
and I forgot the little bit about her stealing the moment of it from like, when she announced her pregnancy at Abby's baby shower,
Mhm.
but I just think about she like, Todd's a fucking asshole,
Mhm.
but we think about that moment of she thought that this was true with the side piece and he got her pregnant
Mhm.
and this is all accurate, and then she's cutting off contact, and she's like, no, Todd can't have any access to the child and all this, right? So she's hurt by it. So say that Lucy was completely innocent of
Mhm.
all of this, right? And that she didn't do anything at the baby shower,
Mhm.
and that Todd's the whole instigator in all of this. I feel bad for Lucy in that sense. But if Lucy's like Todd in the sense that she's like that kind of person who's trying to steal all the limelight and all this, then it's like, okay, yeah, you kind of deserve it as well.
Mhm.
But that's where I'm kind of iffy on it. Like, Todd for sure
Mhm.
deserves what was coming to him. And, like, eventually, I don't think it's a forever thing. Like, you got to back off and say the truth to them and then just cut them out of your life,
Mhm.
in my opinion.
Mhm.
But I'm kind of like wavering on the Lucy situation of, did she deserve such a big getting fucked over? Because
Mhm.
was she involved in this is when the proposal is going to happen? Or was this a surprise to her? Or was the only thing she did the pregnancy announcement?
I mean, normally you don't expect a proposal to happen. It's one of those things
Mm-hmm.
that I know people plan to make it special. Here's the other thing on that note. Why would you do it at somebody else's wedding? That's not special.
No. And
Because
especially during a father-daughter dance.
at any point during the wedding, because now you're going to associate your proposal with this person's wedding. That person's going to associate their wedding with your proposal.
Mm-hmm.
So like my understanding from proposals, again, single as a Pringle, have never been proposed to. But my understanding is that you want to do it so that it's special to both of you.
Mm-hmm.
You do it somewhere that has meaning, or you do things that have meaning. Like I've seen people, they like recreate their first date or some romantic bullshit like that, like
They go to Disneyland.
yeah, they go to Disneyland, or they do like the cliche thing where they propose on New Year's Eve or Christmas or Valentine's Day or your
They go by
birthday.
a beach.
Yeah.
Sunsets, cliffs. They
Like
go
normally,
somewhere with nice places to get pictures done.
yeah, normally there's like meaning behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Wedding to me is just very much like, can you like they're playing like some slow, that's the thing, there's music playing too. So obviously like you yelling over the music like Lucy, I love you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you while you've got like Ed Sheeran on in the background. Will you marry me?
And it's like a father-daughter dance
Mm-hmm.
for the bride and her father.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's watching that.
Mm-hmm.
Usually there's like a spotlight type of situation, like in terms of like most of the lighting is drawn that area
Mm-hmm.
to just like make sure everybody's eyes are where they're supposed to be in that setting.
Mm-hmm.
So like what was the point? Right? Like first of all, right for all of that. But I don't I don't know why she said yes,
I don't know why she said
right?
yes.
Uh unless like she was like kind of on board with all this type of behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but I don't know. I'm I like the poster yeah, like ruin the proposal, all of that. Fuck with them. I think like making it go on more than like that more than like 24, 48 hours is cruel
Mm.
to people, especially when there's a baby
Yeah.
involved, right?
Yeah.
Fetus or not,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like just like cut these people out of your life.
Yeah. Just
Just
go.
because you're blood doesn't mean you have to interact with them.
Just go low to no contact.
Yeah, like don't even go low. If
Mhm.
these people fuck with you this much, just cut them out of your life. Stop having any interaction with them. If you
Mhm.
don't have anything positive from them, just because you have DNA that is relating to them, does not mean you have any need to have any interaction with them. If they bring nothing to your life, you do not need them in your life. Cut them out.
Mhm. Mhm. That's the facts.
Yeah. You've got to do what's best for yourself.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. I think we should do what's best for ourselves and find another story to read.
I think so too.
Eli agrees. Did you hear the woof woof?
No, I can't hear the woof
Oh,
woof.
there you go. Woof woof.
Oh, now I hear the
There
woof
you go.
woof.
Yay. He's on board.
Oh, yeah, he's on board.
Okay, that's enough now, sir. No. Okay, so I'm going to bring up the next story on the Lexie list.
Okay.
So we're still on. I think they're all on r/petty revenge.
Yeah, I think they are.
Yeah, I think that's where she went.
Right, Hexa? Yeah.
Need a sip of my drink first.
They're all on r/PettyRevenge. And she's like, I'm gonna get my petty revenge on you. Not
It's like,
letting
wait
me
till you're sleeping.
run
Wait till
out,
you're sleeping.
letting me run out into the hallway.
Or letting me climb the curtains.
Letting me climb the curtains.
Calling me a shitbag.
Or letting me fight through the window.
Practice my boxing skills.
That's you practice your boxing skills. I gotta cut your nails, though. They are long. Oh my goodness. That might be a tonight thing.
Okay, our third story is called Superior Kept Stealing My Work, so made him look stupid and crazy. It's a new one, too. It's only been up 9 days. Strange. Yeah, it's very new. So, I do data analysis for financial firms. I'm based in Europe, but I get a new line manager from America. Now, I get on really well with my American colleagues, but this guy is an asshat. Love asshat. I love the word asshat.
Asshat is a good word.
It's a good... It's like one of my new go-to things, just, insult people. I can't talk anymore. I'm losing it. I'm going under.
She's going under, guys.
But not down under.
No.
No, because we're in Europe.
I'm
not sure how he got promoted to his position, as he knew nothing about the industry. I frequently had to present to the board, and he'd always go through my slides beforehand and ask me about them. He'd then ask purposefully challenging questions about things he'd only just learnt from me 5 minutes before the meeting. Really dickish behavior. Once I realized what he was doing, I started being more careful about how much I shared. One time I managed to plant questions that made him look stupid in front of the board. Following this, he started making me present to him beforehand and then would take my presentation and deliver it himself to take the credit. This really pissed me off, so I took my petty revenge. Okay, just reading that really pissed me off. I hate people that steal credit.
I know people like that, and that just like...
Oh my God, remind me to tell you a story about this.
Yes.
Because I've had someone present my entire fucking paper. Fourth year English.
I was gonna say, I assume this is an off-stream thing.
Oh, I'll do it on stream.
Okay. But I'll remind you.
But I'll forget to tell it.
Yeah.
For the next meeting, I included a few slides in the PowerPoint that were not connected to the presentation. I was able to quickly skip through these when I was going through it with him, so he didn't pick them up. However, once he got in the meeting, the fun began. The board were very surprised to see a picture of a baby kangaroo in the middle of the projected Q3 earnings. He got flustered and blundered through the next few slides. He was just getting back on track, but then the regional analysis appeared on the bare chest of Tom Brady. The board were getting visibly annoyed at this point, and they thought he was joking around. It all settled down until the final slide. It was the standard any questions, only the faded picture in the background just happened to be a bikini pic of the CEO's daughter, taken from her Instagram. How did that get there? Asshat quickly made his apologies and left. He came gunning for me, so I had to play ignorant. I don't know how that happened. It was all fine when we went through it before. Must be a hacker. Luckily, Sergeant Shithead bought this excuse, as he knows nothing about anything. The board, however, weren't so forgiving and immediately transferred him to a more junior position. 6 months later, I got promoted, the role he had vacated.
Oh my God.
Yes. This was amazing.
I love that.
Oh, first comment there. You never screw over the person you rely on in order to get your job done. I doubt he ever learned that. Yes.
Yes. That's a good thing of revenge, because like nobody really got hurt, minus the CEO's daughter. But
that was on her Instagram, right? That was public.
But also depends on how old she was.
Yeah, I really hope she was of age.
I hope she was of the age of the majority in wherever they lived.
Europe. Somewhere in Europe.
So probably, hopefully 18. Yes. But that's a good way to do it, where you just like mess with slides and people get flustered. They're like, I don't know how that got there. And you're just like, aha.
A hacker.
Yeah.
I love how every time she was saying I assume it was a woman, but it didn't say. I don't know why I got a vibe that it was a woman. And, she said it was he was taking over. I just felt like it was a woman because, more likely. And I've had it happen to me where, just like your boss or your supervisor is just like trying to take credit for shit you've done. And stuff, and it's just like, but Sergeant Shithead. Love that.
And you mentioned you have a similar story where somebody took credit for something you did.
Yeah, it's not a work one. So it's not exactly the same thing, though. It just reminds me of this. In my 4th year of my bachelor's of English, I was in a class where we had to present these papers that we write. And the paper I wrote was presented like right before Thanksgiving weekend. And I hate public speaking. Right? I'm massive introvert and hate public speaking. I say doing a podcast. Yeah, and also as a lawyer. Right? But mostly like the thing I hate about public speaking is I hate when I'm not the expert. Right? I'm okay when I'm the public speaker and I'm the expert in the situation, but when people are like judging you, I say as a lawyer in front of a judge. Yeah, really fucked up. It makes me a bit nervous, right? But when I feel like I'm confident in what I'm saying, I'm okay with it now. But ever since I was a kid, I got really anxious about public speaking if I'm not the expert of things. And so I made my papers so complicated that no one would be paying attention. Right? I used really drawn out 4-syllable words a lot, like hierarchical. 5-syllable, sorry. And like, I didn't need to say that. Why did I need to use the word hierarchical so many times? Probably not. But I made it dry and I spoke like monotone so that people would not pay attention. Because part of those presentations was that you'd read your paper, then it was open to the entire class, got to ask you questions for like 5 minutes. But if the class didn't have questions, then the prof asked you questions. But I'd rather the prof just ask the questions than the random students. So that's why I made it so complicated. And then, so I did my paper, got asked questions. Nobody friggin' understood it or paid attention because who the fuck would? I made it so dense. And legit, the prof wrote in my thing, was all like, great job, but like, make it more accessible to the masses, please. So they pay for the fuck attention, but like, in non-swearing words. We go home for Thanksgiving weekend, come back, the first paper that gets presented is the girl that sits in front of me. And she gets up and she delivers basically my paper. And I'm ready to kill her. And it's like, so we do it on a book and we're like interpreting the book, taking a stance and stuff, right? And she's so she's using the same book I'm using, which that's okay. We're on the same novel at this section. And she's doing my same thesis statement
Mm-hmm.
in, like, it was my thesis statement, so that's plagiarism.
Mm-hmm.
But it was, said in a different type of words that she used because, mine were too big for her.
Yes.
Yeah, and she didn't understand my paper when she copied it.
Oh no.
So, yeah. So that's the reason I can kind of laugh about it now, but it also still fills me with rage. Um, so she presented my paper to them,
Mm-hmm.
to us, um, in like the first paper up again. So it was like the first class back, first paper up. She presents. I'm like, that's my paper.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, I don't say anything. I'm like, just stewing. And the prof ends up asking her questions
Mm-hmm.
and asks her, questions that she answers and doesn't understand
Mm-hmm.
because she doesn't understand what she wrote.
Mm-hmm.
Because she tried to plagiarize from memory of the notes she took while she listened to my paper because no one gets copies.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last question the prof said was, do you have any original ideas in your paper? Yeah. And I was like, yes. He didn't specifically say, like, you copied them all from Melanie, right? Like,
Yeah.
any ideas that are not Melanie's in
Mm-hmm.
there.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, he said, like, any original points or, like, uh, I don't know how he put it, like, ideas, points, or whatever, that word. But, like, any original something in your paper. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, right? And
Ronley's like, he knows.
And honestly, I think she was too stunned to even get that he'd figured out that she plagiarized. I don't even know if she even knew she plagiarized.
The girl was
She
too.
probably thought she went home and she was like, I have this great idea for paper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know where it came from. It just came to me.
Just came to me one night in my dreams.
Yeah. I was just thinking about, how the book, The History of the World in 10.5 chapters, deals with the hierarchization. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ, I can't say it. The hierarchization of, humanity
Mm-hmm.
does towards all things to make themselves come out on top,
Mm-hmm.
because human beings think they're the best and we just demote everything,
Yes.
right?
That's beautiful.
I know.
That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this one is titled, Don't Assume Others Don't Speak Spanish.
Okay.
And as someone who speaks another language, it's funny when people assume you don't speak the language and you can understand them.
I speak another language too. It's called nonsense.
Yes, it's called migraine brain.
Mm.
Okay, let's take a drink. All right. So, I'm a bridal stylist. I help people find their wedding gown. I love my job, and 99% of the time, it's a happy, wonderful job with great coworkers and customers. And then there's the 1%. There's all
It's always the 1%.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Really?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's always the 1%, and you beat me to it.
Eat the rich.
Eat the rich. I had a bride today who was very sweet, but just didn't connect with the gowns we had. That's okay, it happens sometimes. She was fine, but her mom, and somehow it's always the mom or the aunt, was decidedly not happy and decided to shit talk me in Spanish the whole time. Does this woman know what she's doing? She's pulling nothing but
Mm.
ugly gowns. Said gowns were selected by the bride. I hope you don't ever get as fat as her. And so on. Lovely.
Fucking rude.
Very rude. Now, I am whiter than a jar of mayo, and I don't
Same.
and I don't necessarily look like I speak Spanish. However, my parents are from a Spanish-speaking country, even though they're not ethnically Hispanic. I knew a lot more as a kid, but I still know enough to get around. So I waited until the end, and as they were leaving, I said, I hope you have a great day. Please feel free to come back anytime you'd like. We have lots more gowns you can go through if you'd like. In Spanish, to the bride and her mom. And oh man,
Yes.
you know how good it feels when you're in a fuck ton of pain and the doctor finally gives you something that works and you're suddenly
Mhm.
not feeling any pain anymore? Or when you're craving the hell out of a
Mhm.
specific flavor of ice cream and you manage to find it?
Yes.
Yeah. Seeing the look on that bride's mom's face when she realized I heard and understood the entire hour of her ripping me to shreds was so much better. And that is
Yes.
chef kiss to me.
That is a high and mighty petty revenge.
Because I had this exact same thing happen when I was in France.
Oh.
So, grade 12 trip.
Mhm.
They did the Canadian Battle Tour thing, and I'm a nerd, so I went.
Mhm.
And we went into this restaurant to get some water because it was really hot when we went in April. And we were all speaking in English, and the people behind the counter, I overheard them. They looked at each other and they're like, they don't speak our language. So I overheard and I walked right up to the counter and I ordered bottled water in French. I was like, they're like, oh, they don't speak our language. I walked up. I was like, one bottle of water, please. And the guy was like, oh, she speaks our language. And tells you the type of person that I was, even at 17. I looked at him right in his face and went, yes, I speak your language.
You think they would have got on from the first part, right? But no,
No.
he had to be like, "Oh, she speaks our language."
And I was like, yes, I speak your language.
I could see your face while you do that too.
So it was
Oh
like,
my god.
no. And he was like, oh, elle parle notre langue. And I was like, oui, je parle votre langue.
And you were like,
Oh,
"Oh."
baguette, croissant. Twirling my mustache as I did.
I really wish I kept up with French or like I learned another language well. I didn't keep up with the French I learned in high school.
You mean we could have kept up with our Latin?
Yeah, but that was for like translation purposes only.
No, we could speak it to each other.
Yeah, and we could have talked about battles
Mm-hmm.
and romance
And Romulus and
and
Remus.
yeah, wolves
Yep.
and like declining nouns and
Mm-hmm.
uh what's the thing for verbs? Conjugating verbs. That's
Yep.
it.
Yep.
Oh yeah, to the listeners. They don't just conjugate verbs. Like you know how like in French they conjugate verbs. I don't know what they do in Spanish. Maybe they conjugate verbs as well. Like into things like if you're using the I form, then you
Mm-hmm.
have to like I ran, but then like he runs,
Mm-hmm.
they run, that kind of thing. But
Mm-hmm.
in Latin, you also do stuff like that for nouns. So
Yes.
between the I and the he and the she and stuff like that with nouns. And there's whole different things. And it gets way more complicated because there's 5 different declensions. And
Yes.
I don't remember anything besides that there was 5 and it was horrific. Okay. Shall we move on?
Let's move on. Let's read another revenge story.
Okay. So, second last one.
Mm-hmm.
It is loading.
Okay.
Okay, my computer's frozen.
Oh, lovely.
Okay, it's fixed. Okay, my grandma gave me the idea. Petty revenge at its finest.
Ooh, we love when older people give revenge because they've been around, so they know.
Yeah, they should have good advice.
They sh- they should.
They
Sometimes
should.
they
They should. Sometimes they don't, but you'd expect them to have wisdom
do. Mm-hmm.
because they probably have tried things and failed and tried them again and found the ones that work, right? That's what you'd expect.
Mm-hmm.
So, years ago, when my husband and I got married, we had a decent sized wedding, 100 plus people, that we
Damn.
paid for ourselves because we were still fairly young and not making a ton of money. I tried to save where I could. I hired local people and friends to do many things at a discounted price, and because I worked at a 4-star restaurant slash banquet facility, I was able to talk them into doing a wedding reception for cost as long as I provided A, B, and C. Basically, we had an amazing wedding for a very low price. However, it was still a fairly large amount per person, somewhere between 17 to 20 per plate. Not too bad, but not cheap.
That's not
Anyways,
bad at all. My God.
not if they seem to have had it at a 4-star restaurant banquet facility thing that you
Most
worked
places,
at.
most places I've heard are like 75 a pop.
Do you think they made her work her own wedding?
I hope not.
Anyways, the invites go out, and after a bit, the RSVP cards start to pour in. And like I said, we ended up with over 100 plus people, maybe almost 130 that would
Damn.
be attending. My aunt was one of these people. She RSVP'd for her husband, and their son, my cousin. Wedding day comes, we get married, reception time, and my aunt and family is a no show. I
Hmm.
noticed because I only have two no shows, I guess, if that's what it means.
Mm-hmm.
I'm irritated, but more worried something may have happened. However, the following Monday, I get a card in the mail from them with a check for $10. No apologies. Just signed with a small congrats statement. Nothing personal. I was so disappointed. So I call her mother. Ha ha ha. Just the way that's written. So I call her mother, brackets, ha ha ha, my grandma, and I tell her what happened. She instantly says that doesn't even cover the cost of the meals she wasted when she didn't show up. What a
Mm-hmm.
cheapskate. It hadn't
Grandma.
even crossed, yeah, it hadn't even crossed my mind at the time. Then she says the best thing ever. Your aunt is super OCD about her checkbook. Don't cash that check. It'll drive her mad. It didn't. And it did. What? It didn't and it did. What? Okay.
What?
It also drove my narcissistic mother crazy because she got all the calls asking when I was going to cash the check. Guess she was too embarrassed by then to call me. A win-win. The best part is I kept the check and left it inside the card. I have a habit of keeping all my cards, and every once in a while I'll pull that card out and look at that check, and it always makes me feel like the pettiest bitch alive.
She still hasn't cashed it?
No.
Oh my God.
So this post was posted 4 months ago.
That's
And it
amazing.
doesn't say when they got married. Oh, it says years ago.
And she still hasn't cashed it. Oh my God, that is amazing. That is
Yeah,
amazing.
that is so funny.
Oh my God, that's amazing. That is amazing. I love that so much. That is see, this is an example of like no one really gets hurt,
Mm-hmm.
but you piss some people off in the process, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Oh my god. I love the fact that she just pulls it out every once in a while and just looks at it.
And just, that's how I was, okay. So I do that actually with something. So I have certain people blocked on my social
Mhm.
media.
Yep.
I was telling my friend Catherine about this yesterday. Every now and then, I'll go into my blocked contacts on like Facebook,
Mhm.
and just the two in particular, and every now and then I'll just flip them off.
Oh my god, Rachel.
And it makes me feel better.
Yeah.
It's funny because there's like three of them in a row that are blocked, and it's these three people,
Mhm.
and they're all three in a row, so I flip all three of them off at the same time.
There's sometimes a place or, a location that I drive past,
Hmm.
and Lexie and I will do it together sometimes, and we'll flip it off.
Pretty sure I did that the last time I was home. I flipped it off when I drove by.
Oh, thank you.
I also
I
flipped off my
appreciate
old,
your support.
I also flipped off my old workplace the last time I drove by it.
Yeah, I flip it off and Lexie likes to do this when we drive by. She'll just go, "Fuck you, quack." I even quacked it myself.
Thank you for self-censoring. I appreciate that.
I self-quacked. Yeah, but I have to keep reminding her, I'm like, "Would you put your, like, middle finger down? Like, stop waving it around in the middle of the car, right? Like, we're driving. Stop doing that, like, at the windows, right?" And, like, people are gonna think, like, we have road rage, and, like, it's not even we, it's me. It's her, I mean. I'm driving and just, like, perfectly normal, and she's there just like, "Fuck you, quack," and or just, like, waving it around. I'm like, some random person's gonna drive by and think we're think Lexie is waving her middle finger and telling them to fuck off or something, and pull us over, and we're gonna get in a fight, and I'm gonna pull out my glove box knife and have
Hmm.
to do something about it. And
Hmm.
you know what? Lexie's not helpful in a fight.
No, she's not.
Yeah, like, she's a good hype man in
Hmm.
the back, like, "Get him, I'll call the police." But,
Yeah,
like, I'm gonna have to take care of it.
yeah, you are.
Mhm,
That's like I don't put it out the window. I'll just like casually, like when I'm driving, I just flip it off like below the window so nobody can see me.
mhm.
I did that once to my workplace, and my friend was like, "Did you just flip off your work?" I'm like, "Yep."
I love how you just didn't even you didn't even acknowledge the fact that I said glove box knife.
No, it's you. I'm not surprised.
You did not acknowledge that at all. I'm like, "My glove box knife," and you did not acknowledge that. You were just not like, "You have a glove box knife, and it's called a glove box knife?" Like,
Again,
that's its home.
it's you.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised. I have a keychain alarm now, so
I ordered one, but it never came.
mine is a cat-shaped one.
Oh my god, Rachel.
Yeah.
That's adorable.
So they came in a pack of three, and Grace ordered it, and me, her, and Cassie split them. So I have the pink one, Grace has the black one, and Cassie has the blue one.
Mhm.
And when you pull the pin, it makes a very loud noise. It's not like an actual alarm noise, but it's a very like meh.
Like a
Enough that
cat if you pull its
enough
tail.
that enough that it would scare somebody off or scare an animal
Yeah.
away.
Is it reusable?
Oh yeah, you put the pin back in and it stops.
Okay. I didn't know
And
if it was like, like a grenade. You pull it once and then you're fucked.
no, you can reinsert the pin, and then it also has a flashlight on it too.
Mhm.
But Hexa, speaking of shit boxes, she was
Just ship off. No.
yeah. She have it on my
You
key, like
just
my car
died. Sorry.
my car keys, and there's like a lanyard type thing that's attached to the pin, and she was
Mhm.
playing with it the other day, and I was just looking at her, and I was like, if you pull that out, you are not going to be very happy with yourself. because it will scare you and I will laugh and you will hopefully learn your lesson.
Mm-hmm.
She hasn't pulled it out because I'm too scared that she's going to and it will scare her. So I kind of put the little lanyard part on the key hook as well so she can't get at it.
Yeah. I would wonder if that would go off like if she pulled that out in the middle of the night in your apartment.
My God,
if you were asleep. Oh my God. It's quite the wake-up call.
I mean, I would be curious to see if it would actually wake me up because my fire alarm in my building doesn't wake me up because it doesn't sound like a fire alarm.
Oh. Is
Which
it
is,
like Rez that sounded like a truck backing up?
it sounds like just a bell ringing. It's like bring, bring, bring.
Oh, like a phone.
Yeah. So it went off one morning when I first moved in, and I remember I was with dude at the time, and I was asleep, and he's like, "I think the fire alarm's going off," and I was like, "Is it?" And he goes outside, and there's people outside. He's like, "Yeah, it's going off. What do you want to do?" And I was like, "I'm not going outside," and I went back to sleep.
Oh yeah, you chose burn to death.
I chose burn to death. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the last one we had, Lexie hadn't marked anything,
Mm-hmm.
but I kind of wanted to see what a stranger tells me. Smile, it could be worse. Instantly regrets it.
Oh, okay.
Because this feels like my vibe.
Okay.
But did you have one that you thought?
I was gonna do the boyfriend seeing me braless in the one. All right. So now that we got that, our last one that we have for this episode is titled "A Stranger Tells Me, Smile, it could be worse. Instantly regret it." Are you ready?
No, I'm not ready.
Okay.
But I'm intrigued
Okay.
because, I hate those people that tell you to smile. It's usually older men.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to punch them when they do it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I don't. But I feel like it.
Yes. So last week, I was out and about making a start on some errands I had. As I was walking, I was going through my long to-do list in my head. So I wasn't frowning, I wasn't smiling, my face was just in neutral. A man starts heading towards me. As we pass, he tells me, "Smile, it could be worse."
Of course it was a man.
Of course it was a man. Because as we know, men are trash.
Yes, we do. We know that.
You know that.
It's scientifically proven.
It is there's research on it that men are.
It's called that episode we did.
Yes.
with the guy that wanted you to rub your nose.
Yes. I stop, stare at him for a moment, and then say, "My parents were in an accident. My mom died on impact.
Oh my
They're turning off my dad's life support tomorrow."
God. Oh my God. Are you just gonna leave me like this? Keep reading.
The guy looked like a robot being suddenly shut down. His face fell like a deer in headlights. He stuttered and stammered. He was obviously trying to think of something to say, and when he couldn't, he turned around and speed walked away. My parents are both fine. There was no accident.
Oh my
But it annoys me when people think they have the right to dictate how people are feeling and what expressions they make, especially when they don't know what is going on in their lives. It's unhelpful and patronizing. Imagine telling someone who just been given a terminal diagnosis, "Smile, it could be worse." Or somebody who has lost a child, been laid off, or is otherwise struggling and in a terrible situation.
Oh my God. Holy shit. Oh God. Rachel, take over. Take the wheel. Rachel, take the wheel.
I think what Melanie is trying to say is, damn,
Yeah.
you can't just say things like that.
Yeah, holy fuck. I mean, like, it's all true
Mm-hmm.
what this person says. I've wanted to say stuff like this
Mhm.
to be like, to make that person that's telling you to smile, right?
Mhm.
As if they think they have a right to, force you to smile. Like,
Mhm.
you're, like, they have a right to how you look,
Mhm.
right? To how they perceive you. And you not looking happy or pleasant is a problem for them,
Mhm.
right? And that you're supposed to perform for them in some way, basically.
Mhm.
Especially for somebody like if they're working, right? Like think like people in retail. They
Mhm.
expect like cashiers or even like in the restaurant business, like waiters. They
Mhm.
expect them to be pleasant and smiling and stuff, right? But you don't know what someone's going through.
Mhm.
But telling somebody that your parents are in an accident, your mother's dead, and that your dad's been taken off life support when that's not true.
Mhm.
Holy fuck, that's a lot. Though to be fair, I probably shouldn't judge because I've probably done something similar to telemarketers myself
Mm.
when they call and they're like especially even as a teenager and they were like, "Can I speak to your mom?" And I was like, "She's dead." And they were like, "What about your dad?" And I'm like, "He died."
Also dead.
And I'm like, "Yeah, he died." And they're like, "What happened?" And I was like, "A horrible accident." And I'd like make the whole fucking shit up and like make them so uncomfortable that they would hang up the phone. And so like I don't have like I'm in a glass house here and I shouldn't throw stones. But like yeah, you shouldn't do this.
I have seen it's definitely from Eliza, where she has said that she wants to keep like a pocket with fake blood in her mouth. And whenever someone tells her to smile, bite it and smile and have all the blood run out of your mouth.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to do.
No. Or like have like some fake teeth,
Mhm.
some like messed up fake teeth. Those like false teeth things like for Halloween
Mhm.
and smile and be really creepy about it.
Yes.
But something you could just do is like
Mind your own business.
yeah, for those people. But like if you're going to have someone do that to you and like that, sometimes I will just dead stare at them. Like so if you can just like keep a straight face and
Mhm.
blankly stare at them and just like eyes open, mouth like straight line, stare at them and make no comment and stay still. Eventually they get so fucking uncomfortable, they'll like friggin' run from you.
Or the most obvious option we're forgetting is make the face from Jenna Marbles' video.
Yeah, but see, that's the most work.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, right? The face. Make the face, but some people might not remember that, right? And we're on an auditory format, an audio format.
An auditory format.
This is an audio format, right? So we can't make the face at
That's
them in a way that they can hear.
mhm.
It's like mouth wide open, which, unfortunately can invite some things if you're in a, with a creep,
True.
right?
True.
So what I'm saying is eyes wide open, mouth like thin line,
Mhm.
stare at them, no movement, no sound, no blinking if you can,
Mhm.
right? Blink if you need to, but that's the only movement you're allowed. And you
Mhm.
just don't react to whatever they say. And they keep trying to talk to you, and they'll eventually be so comfortable because you're pulling like a little girl from The Shining look at them.
Yes.
And they're getting creeped out. They're thinking that girl is possessed by the devil. And they're like, I'm running the fuck away.
Mhm.
And that is what happens. You convince them that you are demented.
You convince them you're mentally unstable.
More like you are like a horror movie character.
Mm-hmm.
And that the next thing that you're going to do is throw them across the room with your mind because you're like Annabelle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Think like it's The Conjuring or some shit, right?
Yes.
It's that eerie feeling. And it's like, why have you stopped talking, stopped moving, and you're just staring at me? This is not natural.
Not natural at all.
Yeah. So, and it just puts it all there. Because think about it. If you're in a situation, especially if you're working,
Mm-hmm.
you can't say shit to them if you want to keep your job. Right? If you're
Yeah.
like a cashier, you can't be like, well, fuck you. I'm not going to smile at you.
Mm-hmm.
Because your boss will probably be like, you got to be nice to the customers. Right? So, what you can do is just not communicate with them and stare at them.
Mm-hmm.
Because what are you doing? Nothing.
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 And sometimes the best thing to do is nothing.
Mm-hmm. So, there you go.
There you go.
Creep the fuck out of people. That's what I recommend.
I recommend that as well. 10 out of 10 would recommend that advice.
Scare people away.
Scare people away. Just scare them away.
Or just keep a knife in your glove box.
That too. Again, not fazed by that at all.
Yeah, okay. But the knife is a utility knife. It has a spot for breaking the windshield.
Mm-hmm.
It's
You've
a spot
told
for
me about
cutting
this
the
knife.
seatbelt.
I think that's why I'm not phased.
Yeah, it's spot for cutting the seatbelt,
Mm-hmm.
and like the utility knife thing for like utility, and like there's another part for it, but I forgot what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
There's like 4 functions. I forgot the 4th.
It's not that important, obviously.
Yeah, I forgot it. I don't know what it is.
Cutting
But
the seatbelt?
it's, I think cutting the seatbelt.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, but it's like breaking the window and stuff because like if you got stuck in your car and you can't get out, right? There's a spot for that, like breaking the window to get
Mm-hmm.
out. There's a little spot on the bottom.
Yes,
right? I'm always prepared.
she is.
Mm-hmm. So we should end this episode.
We should.
Mm-hmm.
So, listeners, if you liked our Reddit stories, let us know. Or, even better, if you have your own petty revenge stories, let us know.
If you have a petty revenge story that is so vengeful, you can't say it because it might get you in trouble still.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have. But it ignites your rageful fires. It keeps me warm at night.
Yes. Let us know.
Mm-hmm. We'd love to hear it.
Yes.
Is my side too noisy right now? Is my side too noisy over here right now?
No, it's not too bad. But yeah, you can let us know. You can either send us a message on our Facebook page. We're Inconsistently Consistent on Facebook. You can send us a message on our Instagram page. We're Inconsistent Podcast 1. Or if it's like really long and just the thought of typing it puts you into so much joy and excitement and you want to stabby type your computer, you can send us an email. We're inconsistentpodcast1@gmail.com.
If you have a glove box knife and you want to tell me about it and you want to show me a picture or anything, you can take a picture and send it my way. I would like to see it. Tag me in it. I would love to know. My personal Instagram is at Melanie with an extra E on it 427. You can also find me on melanieflynnbooks.com, where I wrote a book called The Toy Maker. And it has some, people getting killed in it,
Mhm.
because it's about a hunt for a serial killer. And
Yeah.
maybe there's some stabby stab. Maybe there's some glove box knife. Who knows?
Who knows? I
Who
know
knows?
because I read it.
Yeah, she read it.
Mhm.
Is it
And if
very
you
good?
want to send it to me, and because you think I would appreciate it more than Melanie for whatever reason, you,
You would.
you can send it to my personal Instagram, and I'm underscore Rachel VR underscore, or you can also message me on TikTok, and it's the same handle underscore Rachel VR underscore.
Like you don't understand the just beauty of a glove box knife.
No, I don't have a glove box knife, so I probably wouldn't understand.
Yeah, maybe I'll get you one for your 30th birthday.
I would love a glove box knife.
Right?
Not
They're
gonna,
amazing.
I would love it.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I got my dad one.
Because he needs a glove box knife.
I got one him for Christmas like a couple years ago. That's where I got mine.
Ah,
Right? I found one for him and I was like, "Ooh, I want it." So, I got two. That's where it came from.
2-for-1 sale. I like it.
No, it wasn't really a sale. I was just like,
Shh,
"I'll get this for him." And I was like, "But I want it." So,
2-for-1 sale. Just pretend it was a 2-for-1
okay, I'm on board. Yeah, it was a 2-for-1 sale. Woo! Savings.
sale. Okay, bye.
Bye.